everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to turn this lovely file folder into this. And this. And this. And this. We're going to take one file folder, cut it up into 12 tags, and make endless possibilities. You're going to be able to see how we're going to adapt this to fit all different styles and everything that everyone loves the most. So let's take a look at the supplies we're going to be using today. The first thing we're going to need is obviously a file folder. Any color, doesn't matter. We're going to be covering it all up. The next thing I'm going to be using is the basics. I'll be using my cutter. You can use a ruler and knife. I'll be using my scissors. Glues, we'll be using Fabri-Tac, school glue, glue stick, or art glitter glue. And papers of your choice, any papers. Some of these are made out of the mushroom, the vintage mushroom kit that is a freebie on my Ko-Fi shop. But a lot of these we're going to use just whatever kind of scraps that I happen to have. I had some really nice ones that I recently pulled out, and so we'll be using some of those today. And we're going to be using everyday things like fabrics. Any kind of fabric swatches that you have, you can use. Book pages, we'll be using some marvelous book pages. This is a little tiny atlas. We'll be using some papers like that. We'll be using this. If you can get a hold of an encyclopedia, you'll have pictures for days. I'm going to show you how to turn these beautiful pictures from this Reader's Digest North American Illustrated Guide to 2,000 Plants and Animals. So I'll be using some of those today. Aren't those beautiful pictures? I love those. And let's see, I've got all different kinds of scrap papers and just all kinds of fun things. Some of these are even, I even have some wallpaper samples. And so let's get out some toys and let's get started. Okay, let's get started by cutting out our tag shapes first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my file folder and I'm going to come down to this little notch here, and I just want to cut off everything that's uneven. We're just going to cut it right off and get rid of that piece. Then I'm going to open up my cutter, and I found that the tags look the best. At least I like them the best when they're about 2.5 inches wide. So all of my tags are going to be about 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. There we go, 2.5. And this one should be roughly 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to open this one up and I'm going to cut it right down that center fold so I have two long pieces so that all my strips are separate. And then from here you can choose what you want to do. So you can make them long, short, however you like. So I'm going to start by making some that are about half, about dividing this almost in half. So this is just a little over 11.5, so I'm going to go about 5.25, let's say 5.25. That's I'm going to go closer to 5.75. There we go. So we have some that are 5.75. We can do a couple that are longer. Let's do 6.5, and then that will make this one 5. And then maybe we'll do another one that is, I don't want to go too short. I'll go 6.5 again because I like those smaller ones too. There we go. We have all of our tag shapes cut out. I'm going to show you what these are going to look like. So when I do this, we've got some longer ones, then we'll have some medium ones and some smaller ones, 3 different sizes. That seems fair enough. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip my corners to make these look like tags. So how am I going to do that? Most people would use a corner rounder or a, they have a tool for it. I'm just going to cut off a corner just like that. And I cut 2 at the same time so that I could flip this one over. And now I'm just going to cut out this shape here. And then I'm going to flip it over and cut it again right here. And so now I have even sides all the way around. Okay, let me do that one more time so that you can see it. So what I did was I cut one corner first, and then I simply took the one that was on top and flipped it over. And now I'm going to cut off one corner and one corner. And that way I don't have to fiddle with all these little pieces and trying to flip them over and cut them out. It's just too much of a hassle for me. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to make sure that all of my pieces align at the top. And I'm just going to take just one, and I'm going to use just one to cut the corners off of these. So if you look, you can see how I'm just making sure that each side, there's a little bit on each side, and it's roughly the same. And so then I'm going to cut these corners. And now I have tag shapes for those. And now I'm going to do the same with this. And there you have it. Just a simple way to cut all of the edges, all the corners off, so that you have nice even tag shapes on all your pieces. Now you don't have to use this particular shape. You could use a corner rounder and round all your corners. You could not round any corners and just leave them all square. And your tags don't even have to be this shape. This is just a shape that I preferred for today, and it was just really easy to get all my pieces to align evenly. And I was able, by using this method, I was able to get 12 tags out of one file folder. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and pick out some papers, and we're just going to glue these down and cover our bases. Okay, so we've gone ahead and gotten out our papers. The best thing about this project is that it's all from papers and things that we've already got. So I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of paper from the Vintage Mushroom Kit to cover the large tags. These smaller tags, you can see this is this paper is roughly almost 9 by 9 square. And that's going to fit these 3 small little tags on there just nicely out of this really pretty little floral. And it's non-directional, so I can get all my pieces out of it. Then the last one, I'm going to use book page. So that encyclopedia that I showed you before had these, and I thought it would be really neat if I cut them out and layered them on one of the tags, and then the rest of the tags will be covered in this book page. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that real quick. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to grab my glue stick. And you know, when you're doing paper to paper, you can go ahead and use glue stick. That's really a good option when you're gluing paper to paper. And so I am just going to put all of these pieces down like this and cover each one of these, and then I'll just trim them around the outer edge. And the nice thing about this is that it's going to give, even if you're using a cheap file folder from like the dollar store, the glue in the paper is going to help give it more stability. And so your tags are going to be nice and firm when you use file folders. That's what I like about using file folders. Okay, there's that one. And the last one for this pretty roses. I really like that. And the nice thing about this is that you can use papers from just about anything. Oh, you know, I have that atlas paper that's really kind of cool too. So maybe I'll use that on some of the ones that are book pages. So there. I'm going to glue that down, make sure everything is glued down to the paper nice and securely. I'm going to set that aside. Look at that. Okay, so there's that one. I think I'm not really a fan of how that is gluing down for me. I don't know why. So I'm going to use my my Fabri-Tac because I prefer that it's, I don't know why, I just feel like it's going to be more secure than that glue stick. I think the glue stick's fine, but I don't know. I don't use a lot of glue stick. It's great when you're using paper to paper, and this is really an expensive glue. If you use any kind of glue, I wouldn't use, I have had a lot of problems with like the cheaper glue sticks. The best one I found is the Elmer school glue. So, okay, so this one's going to go here. Got it glued down. This one. And I'm going to glue this one down. I'm going to grab the atlas paper as well, and I'm going to tear out a page from that little atlas book, and we'll use one of those because those come out really cute. I really like using that. I love using maps. Okay. I just love all the colors in this one. This is a Scandinavian map. There's the Baltic Sea and Stockholm, Sweden, and that's going to be really cool. So I'm going to flip it over. Oh, that's pretty too. Okay, don't look, Yvette. Just cover, just cover. So I'm going to go ahead and don't look. You liked the other side first. That's the hardest part about using things that are double-sided is that you have to really train yourself not to look at it because then you'll overthink it and it'll take forever. But this is just going to be a nice, comfortable build of some beautiful tags. We're going to have some really nice stuff when we're done. Okay. This is the one that I want to show you what I'm going to do with it because, oh my gosh, I think this is going to come out so awesome. So I'm going to cut these strips out. And this is from, this is a wildflower identification chart. And it's got the little legend up there, but I just want the colored strips. I think that'll make a marvelous, marvelous paper. And don't worry, I am going to cut out the white in between. I just want the colors. I don't want any of the white. You could leave the colors if you wanted to do each tag in these colors and then put some washi tape down. Yeah, it's not white enough. I'm going to use the strip. I thought maybe if it was white enough to cover the whole tag that I would just put washi over the center right through here. I could just cover that with washi, but okay. And now I'll cut out this one. And this is just going to give us a nice, interesting background. I'm really kind of excited about this one. Is there another color? Nope. Those are just flowers on the back. I was wondering if maybe there was a third or a fourth color. But I'm pretty sure I just pulled out all the colors that there were. There we go. And so see, if you have different kinds of things, you can use a magazine, you can use regular books, you can use just about anything to cover. Oh, there was a fourth color, it's just white, kind of boring. We don't want to do boring. I'm just going to take my strips. I'm going to grab one of these to put it down so I don't get glue. I get glue all over the place all the time, so I'm just going to put it on here to kind of protect my counter a little bit. There we go. There's the first one. And now I'll do the second one. Ooh, I'm going to move this over a bit. I wouldn't have been able to do that with the glue stick. But I want to make sure that I get a good showing of that last color on. There we go. This purple, I really like this periwinkle. It's pretty, pretty, pretty. So now I'm gonna, instead of doing the whole strip, I'm just gonna glue it down here. There we go. And so that's how you can use different book pages to cover your tags. And then once this dries, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the shape again. There we go. And then the last one, I'm going to go ahead and use my vintage mushroom. Paper, and I'm going to cover these tags. Here's one. And you could use, all kinds of things. You can use newspaper, you can use decorative bags. You know, those really pretty little bags that you get at like gift shops and stuff that are really pretty. They have little print on them. You could use those to cover these up. You could use just about anything that you have laying around. Oh my gosh, you know what else you might even use is, have you ever seen the, well, I'm sure you have, the little paper that goes inside the basket of fries, you know, the little checkered paper? Oh, you could use that. You could use tissue paper, real pretty floral tissue paper, or confetti tissue paper, just about anything to cover your tags with. Whatever you have laying around the house. This is a nice, fun project that we'll just use all the yummies that you have. You could even cover these and make them brown paper tags by covering them with the Amazon packaging. I love using that paper. That's really cool paper. Okay, so you don't need to watch me cut these out. So I'm going to go off screen for a second. I'm going to cut all of these out and I'll be back to show you what we did. Okay, so, oops, I bumped that. Okay, so what I did was, while I was off camera, I noticed that I teased you with fabric and showing you fabric and wallpaper and didn't cover any of the tags in fabric or wallpaper. So let's take a look at what we have. We have a couple of book pages, an encyclopedia page, an atlas page. We have our vintage mushroom pages and our pretty flower pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of each of these and I'm going to show you how to use fabric, and I have a wallpaper sample as well, and we'll use a wallpaper sample to cover one of these so that we have a few different textures and things to play with. I think, I'm not sure I want to use that blue. I have all of these wallpapers. Let's see what we can do with that one. So I will cover the long one in this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac and I'm just going to glue right over the top of it. Paper to paper. That's the beauty of working with paper. It's just paper. You can always cover it again. That's why you shouldn't be worried about making mistakes, because you can't really with paper. Everything's fixable. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. We'll let that dry real well. And it's a good thing I have my Fabri-Tac out, because that's how we're going to use, let's see, I'm not going to use this one because it'll go through. I want to use something a little bit heavier. Let me use this one because I don't want the glue to go through. Yeah, we'll use this one. I don't want the glue to show through on this. So now when you're working with fabric, you need to make sure that you get your glue right up to the very edge, because you want to stop any kind of fray that might happen, unless you're going for that really shabby look. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you get your edges done really well. Okay, real quick while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my wallpaper and trim it out. And then we're going to talk about all the different kinds of things that we're going to use to decorate with. Now, these are going to be very beautiful tags, but we're not going to go overboard with a lot of laces and ribbons, and most of these are going to be pictures. So I want you to be sure that you grab pictures from wherever, books and magazines, and if you like digitals, I love digitals. Grab your digitals and let's take your digitals out. Let me see. I think I'm going to need a pair of sharper scissors to cut this out. My little fussy cut scissors that I use for paper fussy cutting aren't going to work with this. So here we go. And I used, when I decorated my tags, I used all kinds of things. I don't know if you noticed, but I even used Monopoly money to decorate my tags with. So sky's the limit. You can use absolutely anything that you want to decorate your tags with. There. Oh, that's kind of pretty. So there, that's what we have. We have our wallpaper, we have our fabric, we have our book pages, and our vintage mushroom, and our regular paper. So let's talk about decorating these. The key to decorating a pretty tag is layers. And I usually try to, I don't want to say use a pattern, but I do. I sort of have a pattern to how I decorate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for washi tape or whatever my underlying decorative piece is going to be. So I have a whole tub of washi tape that I brought. I've got this pretty gold and this is some Tim Holtz letters. I've got some pretty damask and some fun stuff. And so it just depends on what your preference is as to how you're going to decorate yours. Oh, I got another Tim Holtz right here. Let's put these Tim Holtz together. Let's see, what other kinds of washi do I have? Well, see, I've got a whole bunch. So we'll just bring these out. And then, so let's see. So for this one, I think I'm going to use this gold washi. Now, one thing that you have to be careful when you're using fabric is that if you're going to use washi, the washi doesn't stick to the fabric very well. So you're going to want to put down some glue to hold your washi tape firm. Now the reason why I'm going wider than what my washi tape is because I'm going to layer my washi. So I'm going to put one layer right here at the very edge. And then I'm going to layer another one on top of it. Let's see, what do we have that would be really pretty? I like those numbers. I did not plan any of this out, so you're seeing the creation occurring right here before your eyes. That's funny. Okay, and I'm going to put another thin layer. Notice how I have layers. I have my fabric, now I have my washi, and even my washi is going to be layered. See how I'm layering my washi? That's what gives you beautiful, beautiful tags. Everything that you do when you're junk journaling, you should consider layers, I think. I think they're fabulous and they add such depth and richness to your creations. And you can see that I have layers. So I have my fabric, then I have my washi tape, and then we're going to add some tags and some labels and some focal points to these to make them add another layer. And so you'll see we'll have lots of layers when we're done. So I'm going to set that one aside. And let's take a look at, oh, I want to do this one with you too. So let's take a look at this guy. And I think maybe for this one, I might use, I want to use flowers on this one since it's a floral piece. Let's take my floral washi. I'm going to put a layer there. And a layer there. I'm going to make like a little cap on the top of that. And then I have this pretty one that I'll put right down the center so you can't really, so that the seam looks intentional. There. And then, oh, I'm going to grab that same washi and I'm going to put a little bit at the bottom so it doesn't look like I just slapped washi on there. So I'll put a small piece here and another small piece here. There. Okay, now I'm going to lift up my tag and I'm just going to trim it out. Now I've said it in other videos before, washi tape is not intended to be permanent. So if you see it lifting, you might need to put down a little bit of glue to kind of hold it. But I think since this is on paper, it should be okay. And I just so that you know, it was intentional for me to flip it upside down so that I could see where I was cutting, so that I could make sure that I got, see, like there's a little piece right there that I want to trim off. There. And so that way I'm real intentional about where I'm cutting. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's going to be a pretty one. Okay, let's try one of these floral ones now. Oh, this blue is kind of pretty. I've got a blue here. I've got this pretty blue. Ooh, I think I like this blue better. So I think I'm going to put a strip of this blue. Ooh, and this is really sticky. And I'm going to do it just like the other piece. I'm going to put one down the side. And I'm going to layer with this green. There. Oh, that's going to be lovely. Okay. A lot of people will tell you to go ahead and go with your focal point first, to find a focal point to put on there and then to build around it. I like to choose, it's kind of weird, but I like to choose my focal point afterwards because I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be whimsical, or I don't know if it's going to be elegant, or you never know. So let's do this one. I think I want to do this in, ooh, I want to use these numbers on there. I want to keep this kind of, I don't know what I want to keep this kind of as, but I'm going to put a strip here. I like all those numbers together. And, oops, put another strip here. Nope, I'm going to turn this around just so that the tops of my numbers are facing each other. There we go. And let's see, let's put some, I'm going to work another cap into this one. Do it just like this. And then right across the bottom. So I kind of trimmed everything out on this one. There we go. Okay, I've got 3 of them covered already, 3 of them done already. So what I think I'll do is I'll go ahead and decorate these 3 with you, and then if we have time, we can do some of the other ones. But at least this way you'll get to see how I kind of plan these out. So there, so I'm going to put these washies away for now. And so now I have these 3, oh, I have 4. These 4 tags that we're going to do. So let me grab some focal points, some fussy cuts that I think I might want to use, and we'll start putting these together. Okay, so these are some of the things that I pulled out. I pulled out some vintage mushrooms from my vintage mushroom kit. I pulled out these really pretty little flowers. These are from Frost and Fern Paper Company. They're on Etsy. It's etsy.com/shop Frost and Fern Paper Company. This set of fuzzy cut flowers, my favorite. I use them in everything. I love that set. This one, I'm not exactly sure where I got it from, but it is a French ephemera. So I'm probably going to use this one. I really like that one. And some more tags and things. I have these Victorian women. Aren't they pretty? I will probably use them. And then these are some of the book pages that I wanted to use. I really love this foxglove. That is so pretty. And the desert milkweed is really pretty as well. I have no idea. False Helleboris. Helleboris. Really pretty. I like that. The butterflies. Maybe on my atlas, I'll use the fish or the seashells. We'll see what we can fit out. Okay, so let's do this one first. This is going to be the French one, I think. And I really wanted to use this little guy right here. So I'm going to cut it out real quick. And believe it or not, that's going to be my focal point. That's going to be the focal point of my tag. I don't think I told you at the beginning to make sure that you had your ink, but I'm going to ink. I love to ink. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, and look, it just matches. It just looks so nice. And let's see, maybe... No, I don't want to put orange. I have more of those floral fussies. And so... oh, I'm going to show you real quick. Aren't these beautiful? They're just the prettiest. All different colors, all different hues. Yeah, I'm going to use a pink one. Ooh, I could use a white one. Let's see. Now, I think I want to use a pink one. So I am probably going to use, I really like that cluster right there. That'll be quite lovely. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this. You probably don't need to see me do this. So let me fussy cut this real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I fussy cut it and I inked it. And I will probably put it here at the top underneath my little picture. I'm going to trim this and ink it as well. And like I said, layer, 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 layer. That is like the key. So now I've got my beautiful floral fussy cut. I'm going to put my little picture on top. And then I have little labels. And I will put something there. See how simple that is? Just a few pieces and you've got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tag. This is going to be so lovely. I just think it's amazing. And we just used very little supplies. Paper, our file folder, of course, a little bit of washi, and you don't have to go all out. It could be done. I will probably put, no, I think I'll just leave it just like this. That'll be so beautiful sitting tucked in a nice little pocket. Oh, that's going to be so pretty. And don't feel like you have to put everything straight. Everything doesn't have to be straight. So notice how I turned that until I felt like the flowers fit. And don't be afraid to see how part of it's hanging off on the side? That's okay too. That's quite all right too. When you, I tend to like to put my flowers on cardstock, and then this is cardstock, and my little labels are cardstock. But when we get to the book pages, you'll see that it doesn't matter that it's paper either. You can do paper as well. She's adorable. Gosh, I like that. Okay, let's do another one. Let's pull out I gotta find my tags first. Oh, let's do this one. I really like this one. Oh, wait. To finish this off, I am gonna ink the edges on this because it'll just look that much nicer. It could have been done, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't ink the edges. That just gives it that nice little vintagey look. There. Pretty. Okay, I'm done with that one now. Okay, made me think of it because I want to do this. Sometimes washi tape won't take the ink very well, but Tim Holtz's will. I think he designed it so that it would. I'm going to trim this off a little bit down here. Okay. And since this is the ocean, maybe I'll use some of those big fish on here. Oh, look at that. You can put him like that in the water. Going to the water? Should we use the real big one? No, I'll use him. So I'm going to cut him out real quick. I just purchased a gal, Margaret from Seven Plaza. I watch her so much. She has been such an inspiration to me. I watch her all the time. Her and Tony from Crafting by Tony. Oh, those two ladies are amazing. Anyway, Margaret, for her birthday, just got a scan and cut. And I didn't... Okay, so I'm going to finish fussy cutting my fish. He's pretty neat. This is going to be fun. Here we go. And I'm going to ink him just ever so slightly. I'm really lucky because the paper in this book really likes the ink as well. Ooh, I'm going to put him straight across like that. And then I'm going to take out my tags. And we're going to put one right there. And I don't know if I like that. Let's see if I can find another blue one. That's too big. I'm looking for another piece, another blue label because I'm really liking the way that blue looks with the fish. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we have a shipment and the North British Mercantile. Oh, yes. Okay. So now I know that he is going to go on top. Ooh, did I finish telling you about the scan and cut? Anyway, Margaret from Seven Plaza got one for her birthday, and I didn't know they existed, and it eliminates the fussy cutting. You don't have to fussy cut. It will scan whatever you print out, and then it'll cut it out for you. I'm so excited to give it a try. I had to get one because, well, I enjoy fussy cutting. I prefer not to. I prefer to have them all cut out for me so I don't have to bother, so I can just grab and play. Okay, so we're going to put Mr. Fish down. And you can see how you can use pages from anything. Look how beautiful this tag is going to be. And all we did was use an encyclopedia, an atlas, and a tag. Oh, I like that. That's nice. Okay, let's do another one. Ooh, this one's going to be my floral. Okay, let's start by inking the edges on this one because I don't like how those, I didn't lay this very straight, but it won't matter once I ink it. See? That paper just soaks up the ink. It's so pretty. There we go. Okay, let's see. I think I will have a big, beautiful flower on this one. Let's see. Ooh, I like these. The daffodils? Yeah, let's do the daffodils. I really like the yellow. My daughter, when she was little, loved yellow. She loved Tarzan, and Jane's dress is yellow. And she loved Belle. She had a Belle gown, and Belle's gown is yellow. And those were like her favorite. Actually, her favorite character was Turk from Tarzan. I don't know why she liked that little guy, but we got her a little stuffed Turk, and it sings. So cute. Anyway, the yellow daffodils reminds me of that dress. My daughter used to go out and climb trees in that dress and play basketball with her brothers in that dress. I can't tell you how many times I had to mend that dress. But I just had to because she loved it so much. She really did. Okay, we've just about got this fussy cut done. Oh, that's pretty right there. Let me do this, and we'll find a nice big tag to go across the top underneath the flower up here. So I will grab my tags out again. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I think that, and quite possibly a number at the bottom. I'm sure I have something that will look nice at the bottom. Ooh, those are all street names. I did a new set of tags the other day, and see, aren't those cute? They're all street names. But I don't want a street name on this. I want a number. A pretty number. Not just any number, it needs to be a pretty number. Ooh, that one's pretty too. Oh, I like that one better. Okay. Pretty number 3. There we go. So I'm going to ink this one. And we'll glue it there. beautiful flower down. Those pretty daffodils. I want you to notice you don't have to have fancy stuff to make your tags and things really pretty. You can use just everyday things. And you can make some really fabulous tags. There. And I love that when you use the file folder, you can write on the back of it. So you've got a journaling spot on the back of your tag. There's that one. That one came out nice. Okay, I think I have one more, and then we'll see if we have enough time to do maybe a couple more. Okay, so I went ahead and I fussy cut this beautiful Victorian gal. I really wanted to use her. And we're going to put some of these orange tiger lilies behind her, kind of to make her pop. And then I was hoping that I could put this vintage on here. And I don't know if I can get it to fit without... I might not be able to get that to fit on there. Oh, maybe we can put it just like that instead. There, let's do that. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to glue it down. So since I'm gluing to fabric, I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac. And I'm going to put the tiger lilies down. There we go. And then we will put her down over here. And then we will put the vintage down right here. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue because it's not going down on the fabric. And it'll just kind of help secure all the paper down. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, I think we're going to have time for two more. I want to make time to get at least these two in. These are the last two mediums that we had left, the last two papers. So let's see. Maybe we'll do mushrooms on this one, and let's see about those pretty butterflies from the paper. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, we'll do this. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ink these. I'm going to go off screen again real quick. I'm going to ink them, fussy cut, and I'll be right back. Okay, while I was off camera, I went ahead and inked my tag. I picked out some things to cover it with. And so let's go over these steps again, once again, real quick. On our last one, we'll review it while I'm putting things together. We went ahead and covered the tags. And now we're going to layer. We're going to layer the washi tape. So I'm going to put this beautiful one down. Gosh, I really like that. I think this is more of a bohemian kind of washi, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's nice. I like how with this project you can take and make your tags into so many different things. You're not limited to just one style or one of anything. You can just let your imagination go wild. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the edges of this one. And now I'm going to ink. I don't know if I told you the color I'm using. I use a lot of scorched timber. I really like it because it makes it look really dirty and old. But yeah, that's what I'm using today, is scorched timber. Here we go. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, this came from the vintage fussy cut sheets that I showed you earlier. That's where I got that from. There we go. And now I'm going to put one mushroom here. And notice, remember I told you, don't feel like you have to put everything so straight. I think by adjusting where you put things, you can add a lot of interest and a lot of beauty to your projects. I think it's not high enough. So I'm going to pull it up just a little bit more. There. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. There's my little mushroom. There we go. Lovely. And the next one. This one is that really pretty flower I showed you, the Herbella something or other. I don't know. But I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this green again because it's screaming that it needs to have this washi. I love this washi. I think it's so pretty. I don't remember where I got it from, but I sure need to get some more. And now I have this really pretty floral washi we're going to use. I think this one was a Monet set that I had. A Monet set of washi, and I couldn't for the life of me tell you where I got it from. And we might not get to use it if I can't find out where it starts. Why can I not see where it starts? Isn't that weird? It doesn't want to be used. Ah, found it. Found it, found it. And this is so tiny and thin. I'm just going to put one there. And I'm going to go wild. Why not? I'm going to do both sides. Oops. Come back. It's not very sticky, so I'm going to put some glue down. Remember I told you, if you don't feel like your washi is going to stay, you can always put a little bit of glue and help it. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom. I want to make sure that my washi stays on. Gosh, that's pretty. And here. There we go. Now I'm just going to trim my washi off. we go. Beautiful, beautiful. There. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, we're going to put our focal point down. Can you even believe we're just using encyclopedia pages to make this beautiful? Who knew, right? That you could use pictures from just everywhere. There. And I really wanted to use a street, so we're going to put the street right across the bottom of the stem of my flower. This is where my flower lives. And I'm just going to put this pretty little butterfly, because what's a flower without a butterfly, right? And don't forget layers. Okay, real quick, I'm just going to grab a couple of these, and we're going to go ahead and put an eyelet and a little string on them so we can finish them off. But I'm not going to do all of them because I don't think they all need one. I want to use this one because I have this fabulous yarn. Is this amazing or what? That will go with it really, really well. So I'm going to cut a couple of strips off of this one so that I can use it. And I will grab my crocodile, and I'm going to put a nice little hole on this one. And then, oh, I think I told you before, don't be afraid to, I don't think I did it on here, but don't be afraid to ink your fabric to get it to kind of blend and give it a finished look. I'm going to take some of that off because I don't really want those frayed ends. There we go, and I'm just going to grab an eyelet to put in there. There we go. There are so many other things that we could do to make these pretty, but as you can see, we used just stuff that we had, simple things to make these beautiful. These tags are amazing. I had so much fun doing these. I love making tags, almost as much as I like making pockets. I'm just gonna, where's the other one? Come on. There you are. You don't get to hide. There we go. There we go. We'll take these pretty colors. I just think it's great because all of these colors are in this tag. Okay, why aren't you pulling through, my little friend? Come on. Which string are you? There you are. Perfect. And then we'll just trim these down. These scissors are terrible for that. There we go. Beautiful. Let's see what other one needs a tag. Let's see. Needs a... Ooh, maybe this one. Do I have some pretty pink? Ooh, I've got some pretty lace that I think I can use. If I can find the end of it, we'll be doing great. Okay, maybe not. Oh, found it. Isn't this lace really pretty? That'll be really lovely on that. And this is a little stretchy lace too. Isn't that cool? Okay, and we will grab crocodile, make a hole. There we go. And an eyelet. There we go. There. Perfect. And now with this one, I'm just going to tie it around the top. So I'm going to put this through. And instead of doing the loop like I did on the last one, I am just going to tie it. And we're just going to tie it in a little knot and have some pretty little frillies just hanging off the edges. Whoops. Having a time and a half tying this. There we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going to push that over the top. You can see where my dirty fingers inked this pretty little tag. Okay. 2 minutes to clean up my desk, and then we're going to go through what we made today and kind of recap and do some housekeeping before we're done. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. We have these that I did prior. Aren't those lovely? There are those flowers again. And the little vintage lady. Ooh, the street signs. And then we have our long tags that were done beforehand. All of these you can find on the cover. We used, don't forget layering. We went ahead and used the mushrooms from the vintage mushroom kit. Isn't that pretty? And then, oh, these are my favorite. I just love these little fairies. Aren't they cute? I just love those little fairies. And their little fairy door. So cute. And then last we have the mushroom kit again on the book page with the Monopoly money. Isn't that cute how the Monopoly money's in the background? I just love the game Monopoly money. I love it. And let's look at the ones that we did today. So here we have the French on the regular scrapbook paper. And then we have our vintage lady who's on our fabric. We have our fish on the atlas. I really like that one. And I am not a fish person. This is like so out of my my wheelhouse, but I really enjoyed that one. I liked making this one. That one was pretty cool. Okay. And let's see. We have this one that we used some of the French fussy cut kit along with the vintage mushrooms. Here, I'm going to move these over here so we can do the ones in the middle. And then we have this one right here where we used the different colored strips from the page to cover it, and then made the top and the bottom from the washi with the flowers, the daffodils. And last but not least, we had our encyclopedia page with our butterfly and our street number. Isn't that marvelous? Well, thank you guys so much for coming and spending some crafting time with me. I really, really had a really wonderful time. if you had a wonderful time and you'd like to see more, don't forget to go down and give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, help my channel grow. And don't forget, I will be back with you on Saturday for something really, really special. I have a Gothic romance kit and a special little file folder folio build for Valentine's Day. Okay, my friends, until we meet again, go and create something magical. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.